Hello, ladies. It is Sunday, and we are on day 5 of the frequency of radiance. Day 5, our final day of this. I would say it's been an immersion. At least that's my experience of it. It's a real commitment to show up solid every single day and be immersed in all of this content I have been preparing for all of us to explore and dive into and integrate together. So day 5, we are really going to bring it. Hello, Deirdre, welcome. You got on time early down there in New Zealand. Good morning to you. It's about, well, it's 3:30 my time. So that must be it's Sunday. It's a Monday for you, right? Anyways, today we are bringing everything together. So this is going to be really juicy, really, I don't want to say interactive, but within yourself, you're definitely going to start to, it's interactive within yourself. You're going to start to feel how all the layers that we have been layering in each day are really all going to support you with today's content, and you get to really put it into action for yourself, apply it in your life in a way that's really going to ignite a whole new version of yourself. That's the fun. That's where we get to have fun with this. So let us dive in, shall we? So our the title for today is really giving yourself permission to redefine success. And it's really designed, this permission and this opportunity that you have all the time to define success for yourself. It's really, today is designed to support you in reclaiming all the ways that you've been giving away your power to other people, to other circumstances, to events, so that you can stop deferring your happiness, your pleasure, your expansion for later and start enjoying the journey and sourcing a whole new level of power than you ever have before. It's about stepping out of victimhood and back into choice and mastery over your own state of being in any moment, no matter what. So, because embodying the fullness and the frequency of your feminine radiance requires that you release all attachment to the final destination, to the end goal, and instead start to get in touch with and more committed to who it is you intend to be along the way. And then making that your priority to focus on and celebrate all the opportunities that you have to become more of who it is you aspire to be every step of the way. When we put success, like this level of, when we put the energy of success and we put all the power back into your own hands to determine your experience in the face of whatever life throws at you, and we know there are some curveballs, and getting you anchored in how you desire and intend to show up regardless, this is getting you back into the driver's seat of your life and helping you become increasingly more clear and more grounded in the frequency that you desire to embody right now and moment by moment, day by day. You will not only feel more empowered and in control of your life, but this is how you are able to guarantee your experience, your version of success along the way in any moment. Because as much as we believe it is, it's never about what is happening or not happening. We would like to believe it is. It's about who you allow yourself to become along the way. And that is where the magic lives. That is where the juice and the aliveness and the radiance really lives. The potential for those to be so much more. So it's about who you allow yourself to become along the way, and not needing until you get there, whatever there is for you, in order to feel the way you desire to feel and embody the highest ideal and expression of that woman that you know you are here to be. So it's about holding the highest vision you have, both for yourself and your life, and using that as the catalyst to actually master your inner state while making the best, the very best of the present, and really making your now, your present, where it's at. So kind of a review, we're kind of circling back to where we were on day one, talking about what is the frequency of radiance? What is a woman who is embodied in her feminine radiance? What is that experience? She decides, a woman who's embodied in her feminine radiance, she decides who she wants to be and lives out that answer every single day. She boldly and unapologetically claims her dreams and really cherishes all of her desires as sacred and the potent fuel that they are to really spark and ignite and inform the trajectory of her life and her experience. I noticed, oh, someone else, I thought someone else popped on. Okay, well, I see another eyeball. I don't see another name. That's okay. So a woman who's embodying her feminine radiance, she uses her past to fuel her future rather than use it against herself and as a reason to shrink and contract, right? And she embraces her femininity. She embraces her sensual aliveness and really is in command. Like, she embraces her ability to tap into pleasure on command, embraces that as one of her greatest assets. She unapologetically owns her beauty, both inside, her inner beauty, her outer beauty, her beauty of all kinds. And she walks through the world with a confidence and a grace that doesn't need to prove or get validation or impress. She lets it speak for itself. And finally, she approaches each and every day with the intention to make it the best day possible, because she knows that everything she does counts and that it's the simplest everyday things that make up her entire life. And she wants to be able to look back on her life with breathtaking awe and delight. So, having laid out this kind of template, this frequency of radiance, one of the most powerful and inspiring commitments you can make for yourself, to yourself, is the decision about who you want to be as a woman. And you get to decide this every day and in every situation. And it doesn't matter what has happened. It doesn't matter what is happening or didn't happen or is not happening. It doesn't matter what your family, what your parents, what your brothers and sisters, what society has told you, what your partners or friends has told you who you are, or how much money you have or don't have, or where your business is or where it's not. It doesn't matter what failures or mistakes you've made. None of it matters when you decide to be the most radiant version of yourself you can imagine. Because anything that has happened, anything and everything that has led to this moment now is part of your magnificence, is part of the potential that lives within you. And you get to mine for the gold, the diamonds, in all of it, and harness it for even greater expansion, your next level version. And that is what being embodied in your feminine radiance is all about. It's really that freedom to boldly decide for yourself who you want to be, and use all of your history, all of your story, and whatever challenges you have encountered or maybe currently facing for you, not against you. All right, so let's see. All right, so you guys are quietly listening in and receiving. I'm glad. Now is your opportunity to get even more connected with yourself. So going back, oh gosh, I sure hope I have enough battery for today. Yeah, so sink into your body. This is a little envisioning process I'm going to invite you into. Allow your breath to deepen. Sink into your body. Feel that kind of leaning back and down into yourself. Feeling the support of your back body. And dropping the energy from your head down into your heart, down into your pelvic bowl. Allowing your breath to even reach all the way down to the base of your body, to your pelvic floor. And then really softening the whole front surface of your body. Consciously relax some of the key kind of points in the feminine body that are really powerful to relax and release and soften. The cervix, the pelvic floor, the vaginal canal, the abdomen, the heart, the throat, the jaw and the tongue, the back of the tongue especially. So the structure of the jaw corresponds to the structure of the pelvis. So there's a real correlation. When you relax one, you relax the other, and vice versa. And just notice if you feel a little more soft, a little more embodied, a little more present, grounded, here and available. Even softening your lips. Allowing the breath to really caress your inner body in a way that feels really luscious, really sensual, really pleasurable. So in this space, I'm going to invite you to paint a vision for yourself. Keeping your eyes closed if it's safe for you to do so, painting a vision for yourself of this version of you, an alter ego of sorts, who is embodying this frequency of radiance that we've been talking about over the last 5 days. Now, I sort of offered up some potential pictures of what that could be like and feel like and look like. This is your opportunity to really excavate your own version of that. So feel into this vision of yourself, maybe slightly ahead in the future, who is embodying the fullness of her feminine radiance, the highest frequency of her feminine radiance. And start to imagine, what if you could open out of all the ways you've been constricted in yourself and in your life, and start to breathe into the possibility that everything you're desiring is possible and is available. Feel into your willingness to let that in. And start to imagine what gets to happen for you when you are embodied in your feminine radiance, at that highest frequency and fullness, whatever that means to you. What difference would that make in how you experience yourself, how you move through your life, how you walk through the world? Really turn up the volume on that. Let it feel really, really delicious as it can be for you. How would that impact all the other areas of your life? How you feel and relate to your body. How you relate with your children if you have them. How you relate to your family, to your partner if you have one. Or if you don't, how do you relate to yourself? Or to friends or potential partners? How do you move through the world as a single woman who's embodied in her feminine radiance? Or in your marriage? Who is she? Who is that woman? And just allow that vision, that picture that you're painting, to percolate and touch each and every one of your cells. And remembering that, staying in your vision here a few more moments, if, in fact, the main event isn't the final manifestation, and if success is not about reaching the final destination, the ultimate arrival, and that the main event and success is actually the level of satisfaction and how good you allow yourself to be, and how much of you allow yourself to embody and express in the process. If that is the definition of success, or part of it, or that's what I'm leading to, what is the definition of success according to this version of you, this alter ego who is fully embodied in her feminine radiance? What is her version, her definition of success? What does that look like through her eyes that she creates? What does it feel like in her body and in your body? And then checking in on a couple more pieces here. What inside of this vision, what needs to happen each day in order for you to feel successful according to this picture, this vision, and this version of you? What needs to happen each day in order for you to feel successful on your terms, on her terms. And then lastly, notice while we're still in this vision, what qualities does she emanate and embody that turn you on and inspire you the most? Identify about 3 to 5. And just recognize that these 3 to 5 qualities that she effortlessly emanates and embodies, these reflect aspects of your feminine essence and radiance that you just haven't owned yet. And they're ways of being that you desire more of, that you have not yet integrated into your being and your life, that you now have a conscious awareness of. So the more you can use this information that you're receiving in this moment as your compass, as your GPS, as the ways that your feminine oracle, your inner wisdom is speaking to you, to step into a new way of being, this is how you increasingly create and live a life that feels more and more true to you, and full and rich and luscious for you, versus according to other people's approval or expectations, or needing to please another or get validation or love or acceptance. So feel free to pop in the comments how that experience feels for you. Any sort of ahas or insights you received. You can really stay in your body. I invite you to just stay there, stay in your body, stay in that connection as you continue to receive and listen. I'm going to proceed with the rest of the content for today. But feel free to take any notes or type into the comments anything that feels like you want to anchor it in. So one of the questions that grows out of everything we've covered in the last 5 days is really, especially yesterday, where we talked about the, turning up our magnetism and clearing the blocks to our magnetism and feeding our radiance from the inside out, is really start to get curious. How good are you willing to let things get? Knowing that you cannot have a happy life, a happy ending to a miserable life, in which you're striving but never arriving, merely going through the motions feeling half alive. You cannot struggle or shame or beat yourself up into more radiance, more fulfillment, more bliss, more joy, more peace and ease. As long as we're in judgment, as I've been sharing, if we're in judgment or resistance or negativity or not enoughness towards what is, we're cutting ourselves off from whatever it is that we're actually desiring, longing for, and craving more of. So remember, as I mentioned in day 1, I believe, it's the qualities that you are embodying and embracing right now that are creating and informing your next moment and your future. So the more that you seek can only come out of who you are being and what energy you are embodying right now. In other words, more happiness can only come from happiness. More pleasure and radiance can only come from pleasure and radiance. More abundance and sufficiency can only grow and emerge from sufficiency and abundance. And that brings me to the subject upon which I have really devoted my studies and my expertise, and that is feminine embodiment. And why the embodiment and the integration of all of this is so important is that the power, as you kind of got yesterday, of our programmed responses is formidable. It drives our lives behind the scenes. And without persisting in this and really making a commitment and making it a priority, you will fall back into old patterns. It's not about being pessimistic or negative or discouraging. It's just the reality of how our system works. And being cognizant of how often we will be invited to fall back into our old habits, our old ways of being, our old ways of reacting to life versus creating it. Think of times maybe you've attended a workshop or been on retreat and you get all jazzed and lit up and inspired and empowered and so full and confident that this is the beginning of the rest of my life and I've nailed it. And within a few days or even a few hours, maybe weeks, maybe you get a few weeks out of it, you fall back into old habits, old ways of doing things, old ways of experiencing yourself and your life. And the reason this is, as I mentioned yesterday, I believe, maybe the day before, that the number one job and priority of your nervous system is to keep you safe. So once it's created an environment that's predictable, in which it knows it can keep you safe, that's probably the life you're living now. And it doesn't really want to change. It likes the stability. And your desires, to whatever extent you are not experiencing the level of radiance, the frequency of pleasure, the frequency of joy, the level of expansion and the fulfillment of your desires, to the degree that you're not experiencing that and living that and embodying that, it lives outside of this zone of stability that your nervous system has gotten very comfortable with. Your desires and your vision will always be an invitation for you to expand. So there's this one part of you that's really turned on and lit up and full on ready to grow and for your life to change for the better and for you to become more of the woman that you know in your bones you're here to become. Another side of you is saying, nope, we're going to stay right here. So the ultimate transformation is when this mechanism that's driving for safety actually turns into supporting the achievement of your desires and your fulfillment and your freedom. So it's finding that marriage of safety and freedom. And this is how you make real transformational change in a way that you can actually sustain. And it really involves being able to master this frequency of radiance by integrating all that we've been exploring over the last 5 days into your daily life, which requires becoming super vigilant, aware of your habitual patterns, your thoughts, and where your attention is going. And knowing how to navigate resistance when it comes up so that you're able to increasingly, consciously, deliberately expand beyond your limited capacity to receive your desires that you've been struggling with and stuck in. Expand beyond your limited tolerance for feeling good and allowing in more joy and pleasure and that shine and that sparkle. And moving beyond the old momentum that's been getting in the way of you becoming, embodying the fullness of your radiance and your feminine essence, and being available to receive the power of your desires, the fullness of them, and elevate your frequency to be a match to them, to actually You know, the only reason you don't have what it is you want is because you're not yet that woman who has them, who's inhabiting that experience of having them. So this is this, it's bridging this gap where all of this magic and this juice lives. And we want to get in there and yeah, learn how to navigate it, like, you know, with a lot of sass. So, and then it's this mastery of this frequency of radiance also requires embodying a deeper level of self-worth and self-love. Why? So that you're able to consistently purify your thoughts, elevate your thoughts and ways of being to be in alignment with your desires and vision, and with the greatest ideal of yourself that you can be in any situation. And knowing how to intentionally arouse states of greater aliveness, greater pleasure, greater well-being, greater abundance in your system that's self-generating, self-sourcing, and so that you're growing your ability to sustain them for longer periods of time. That is that process of conditioning yourself to become that woman who has what she wants. And this is what I do. This is how I support women and keep them on track, to help them walk through the places that feel kind of shaky and confusing and uncertain. The places where they may fall back into old habits. The places where she may wonder, well, is this really what I'm desiring? Or is it what I've been told I'm supposed to want? Is this choice coming from disconnection, from fear, from lack, from compensation? Or is it really coming from my deepest embodied wisdom? From my deep embodied worth and wholeness? Can I trust this desire? That it's really a soul-based desire versus an ego-based desire. Because this path of our expansion into our highest vision is not always instantaneously clear. Sometimes we need that guidance and a safe container to really deeply discover and explore whatever comes up along the journey. And it's not so much about, you know, my mentoring is not so much about telling you what to do. It's more about facilitating you into greater, like cultivating that, calling out that confidence from within you. Cultivating that alignment within yourself and your choices along the way, so that you're continuing to deepen into greater self-trust, greater embodied power, and wholeness from which to act, from which to choose and live and love and express. Because there's so much momentum to go back to where you were. Believe me, I know this well, and I witness it all the time in the work that I do. And I know the reason that you're here is because you're meant for more. And more importantly, you know already in your bones that more is totally possible and within reach. It's just sometimes it feels out of reach. So what I'm inviting you to consider is that if you want change, if you want a different experience of yourself and your life, and you're serious about making that change and you want to explore what that could look like, then I am inviting all of you, any of you listening live or to the replay, to reach out to me. And we can set up a time, it's totally complimentary, a free consultation where we will explore this together and we'll look at whatever challenges have surfaced for you over these days during this training or recently in your life. and get you even more anchored into your authentic desires, and look at what needs to happen in order for you to be available to receive them. And we'll explore ways, to really customize this material that you've been learning, and how to more effectively integrate it into your own life so that you can really keep the momentum going into the lasting expansion and fulfillment that you desire. So you'll really walk away with even more clarity, more confidence, and even more alignment within yourself, so that you'll be able to make those choices that are truly closing the gap between where you want to be and where you are. So no matter what, I am always going to take a stand for you being the heroine of your joy, of your freedom, of your radiance, and your fulfillment. So that is what this is about. This whole training has been, is to really deliver you all of these tools and practices, and also say, this is just a taste, right? It's not about just hearing something once and and then it's overnight. This is about transformation. This is about building a foundation for your life, for your a way of living and a way of being. So if you get excited about that, about becoming that heroine for your joy and your radiance and your freedom and your fulfillment, and really stepping into that magnetism and being that woman who boldly claims her desires and cherishes them as sacred and goes after them and elevates and masters her inner state to receive them, then I am available, and I'm offering you to hop on this call with me. We'll connect and dive into this and explore it and just see what it looks like together. No obligation, no risk. The only risk, as I say, is actually staying where you are and not following your yes. So if you're feeling a yes, if you're feeling that, that sort of opening in your heart and the yumminess in your body, and maybe an opening in your body that's like, yes, I really just want to learn more about what that could be for myself and take everything I've been learning over the last few days to the next level, then just type it in the comments or PM me. Either way, just let me know, reach out to me, PM me, or put it in the comments, and we will connect and take the next step and just book a call and discuss it. It's just a chat, and we get to be more personalize this content to you and your life. So I am going to see, oh, beautiful. A wide open, expanded heart. We love that. Yes. The feminine thrives on an open heart. And it's really I'm so glad you felt that, Deirdre, because there's so many, there's so much more. I love this topic. There's so many ways that, if I lose, wonderful, Deirdre, wonderful, yes, we will absolutely connect. And I was going to address your question. I thought I would address the question you asked on day 3, I believe, in a separate video so that I could just deliver the content really cleanly, and then we'll do like Q&A in another video. So I haven't forgotten you. But yeah, what I was gonna say, I have a few moments of my battery still being on. Yeah, the beautiful heart opening. I've been doing a lot of work around this myself. It's, to become, for the feminine, to be like being in our feminine, it's really to notice, to really become that much more attuned to where those closures occur. Because it's when those closures in our heart occur, that's what pops us into our head. We become disembodied, and we lose our radiance. So the challenge for us as women is to notice when those closures occur and actually lean into them and let whatever that emotion is to actually move through us, to actually become more embodied, so that we can open into it, open more into the face, in the face of those closures. And that's actually a really powerful tech, like really the art of polarity also when it comes to the masculine and feminine. If you're in relationship to a really powerful masculine man. I'm going off on a tangent here because it's something I'm really, hey Pamela, really passionate about, but I can take that into another video soon. All right, beautiful ladies, it's been a pleasure. So we're pretty much complete for today. Pamela, you joined a little late, which is so totally fine. I love seeing you here. I'm going to suggest that you go back to the beginning. I did some really powerful, today's work is just really about pulling it all together, laying a foundation for what it looks like going forward. And then a little powerful visioning process, which will give you a lot, even more insights to inform how to really integrate and apply this in your own life. And then a beautiful invitation if you'd like to join me. So thank you, ladies. I will, feel free, review, hit replay, listen back. I'm still here. I'm not going anywhere. Bring your questions, bring your comments. Deirdre, I'm going to address that question for you in a separate Facebook Live. And anything else that comes up. And we'll also connect. We'll also connect one-on-one and look more closely in that beautiful space together. All right, enjoy the rest of your Sunday. And Deirdre, I guess it's happy Monday to you. Wishing you a beautiful week. And I'm here. So I will probably touch base in here tomorrow. Make sure we're sort of continuing the momentum and all of that. So I'm available for questions and comments. Sending you much love. Before my battery dies, I'm going to have a proper goodbye. Okay, bye ladies.